This week's Epic Epoch update is really following on last week's because all 4 articles I published this week were about the serpent seed of Satan theory, and I did quite a bit to explain it in the last update. So the issue is that I prepared a reply to one of the main promulgators of this theory online today, which is Zen Garcia. But before getting to his reply, I had to post a lot of the articles on that topic that I had already written. So this week I published one on Wesley A. Swift, Jews as the serpent seed of Satan, the KKK, and the pre-Adamic race. Then one called Gayman, Jews as the serpent seed of Satan. Then one called Serpent Seed of Satan and British-Israelism, Anglo-Israelism, and Christian identity. And finally, open reply to Zen Garcia on Cain and the serpent seed of Satan. So you'll note that the 3 articles preceding the one on Zen are very troubling, I must say, because one thing I explained in the last update is the serpent seed of Satan theory holds that in the Garden of Eden, the original sin by Eve, metaphorically, so they claim, being told to us as her eating the forbidden fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, was actually that she had sex with Satan, and so that Cain is literally the son of Satan who carries his genetics. So therefore, anyone in the bloodline or seed line of Cain has satanic genetics, literally. Now, who are the seed line of Cain versus the seed line, or I should say, who are the seed of the woman versus the seed of the serpent, as Genesis 3 puts it? Well, Zen Garcia would interpret it as being the line of Cain versus the line of Seth. Others would look at it in a Calvinistic manner and claim that one of the bloodlines or seed lines is the saved, and one is the lost, or the predestined saved and the predestined condemned. Others might say that one line is the pure human race versus those with Nephilim genetics. Who knows? Others, such as in the case of some of the articles I covered this week, would say that it's the Jews versus the Aryan whites, Basically, anyone you don't like, you place into the camp of the serpent seed, apparently. Now, what I did in this reply to Zen is also cover some of his really troubling views, not just on the serpent seed of Satan theory, but that he tells his listeners to read the Nag Hammadi texts. Now, that he tells them to read them is not the problem, but that he tells them to read them because, or so he claims, they are the teachings of the apostles. That is utterly shocking. I mean, absolutely stunning that he could even imagine that. Because if anyone knows anything about the Gnostic texts found at Nag Hammadi, they represent some of the purest form of the satanic doctrine that takes the Bible and turns it upside down, inside out, and backwards, making Satan into the hero figure and the creator God into a villain, or, at the very least, just an ignorant, mumbling, fumbling type of God who wants to keep us nice and ignorant like, while Satan is the enlightener who brings truth to humanity. I mean, it's truly stunning. Now, Zen Garcia did a popular video series discussion with Dr. Joy Jeffrey Pugh, and she also is a certain serpent seed of Satan theorist. But it does so happen that she wrote about the Nag Hammadi texts in one of her books, and she rightfully called them satanic. So I brought that up in this case because someone with whom he has such regard and agreement rightly identified those texts, and he has not. Another thing I talked about with regards to Zen is his strange concept that Adam and Eve were disembodied beings of light who did not live on earth until after the fall. Now, you don't have to read Genesis very far. I mean, only 2 chapters in to completely obliterate that concept. Because, for one, reference to earth is made over and over and over and over again in chapters 1 and 2. And, of course, Eve was made of Adam's what? Rib. And when he sees her, he says what? This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. So, I mean, it's very simple. We're not talking about theological minutiae where you have to read into the root meaning of Greek words or etymology of Hebrew terms. I mean, this is straight up. So what's the problem? Well, frankly, my heart breaks for Zen, because studying apocryphal texts is one thing. You can study them all you want and judge them by the Bible. But I sincerely believe that Zen has gone off the deep end in that he has turned that around. He judges the Bible by the apocryphal texts. And it's very disturbing and troubling that he has gone that far away from the worldview he should have, which is judging the truth of other texts by the Bible. And that's why he's fallen into such deep error. So he needs a lot of love and prayer. So that's this week's Epic Epoch update. Check out the articles, click on the links to open them up, share them in social networking sites, and that way you can help financially support me without spending one single shekel. Alright? Next week I'll have a wider spread of concepts covered. And I'm still writing about this topic, but I've kind of put other things first to kind of break up the monotony, as it were. Okay? So there you go.